Hi guys, today we're looking at equation problems. Equations are used in everyday life to solve problems across a range of areas. Sometimes an equation is given, sometimes you have to work out how to write the information into an equation, which is a bit of a skill in itself. Questions often ask you to apply some other knowledge. For example, you might need to know what the perimeter of a triangle is, or the area of a rectangle, or something else. So the steps that you need to take is, the very first thing is you need to let the unknown amount be X or J or something like that. Let's have a look at this example. There's a garden in the shape of a rectangle. One side's 2 meters shorter than the other. And the first thing we have to do is sketch the garden. It's often really good to draw a diagram regardless of whether it tells you to or not in the question. So let's start with doing a little sketch. So I've tried to draw a little rectangle here, and the first thing that we need to do after that is to let one of the sides be X. Now, because I prefer to work with pluses and minuses, I'm going to let the shorter side be X. And it says the shorter side is 2 meters shorter than the other one. So I'm going to let, that means the long one must be X plus 2. So we've sketched the garden showing the dimensions. We need to write an equation for the perimeter now. So let's think about what perimeter means. It means to add up all the sides, doesn't it? So let's do it. We've got X. We also know that in a rectangle, the opposite sides are equal. We've got X plus X plus 2 for the long side, plus another X plus 2. So we're starting to get an equation now. Now the third part says the perimeter of the garden is 36. What is the length of each side? So we haven't quite finished our garden. Let's put the 36 into our equation. Now P is for perimeter, so I'm going to replace P with the number 36. And on the right hand side of my equation, I'm going to tidy this up a little bit. We've got X plus X plus X plus X. That's the same as 4X's. Plus, I've got 2 plus 2 is 4. Now we've got a nice equation and we can just solve it to find the value of X. So my next step is going to be to subtract 4 from both sides. And then I'm going to get 32 is 4X, and 4 take away 4 over here is going to give me nothing. And I'm going to put the answer, just squeeze it in. Actually, I'm not going to squeeze it in. I'm going to rewrite it as 4X equals 32. So therefore, I'm going to divide by 4 to solve for X. The 4's are going to cancel out on this side. 4 divided by 4 is 1X. 32 divided by 4 gives me 8. Now that means that the shorter side is 8. So we can conclude there the short side is 8. And here's where you look back at the question to see if it's in meters or centimeters. Looking back here, it says it's in meters because it's a garden bed. And that means the long side was 2 meters more than that. So the long side must be 10 meters. You can double check that. If we get 8 plus 10 gives me 18, and the other two sides are the same, 18 and 18 is 36 meters. So we've done it correctly. Let's look at another example. Jennifer, 7 years older than Amy. 10 years from now, the sum of their ages will be 43. How old are they now? This is a classic kind of a question that you come across, and it's a little bit tricky. But I think what we need to do is let either Jennifer or Amy's age now be, let's let Amy's age, it wouldn't matter if we chose Amy or Jennifer. Let's let Amy's age be, why not have X again? That means that Jennifer's age originally would be X plus 7. So again, we're making a substitution. We're letting one of their ages be X. Now let's go back to the question. It says 10 years from now, the sum, that means adding up, of their ages will be 43. How old are they now? All right, we can make an equation out of that second sentence. 10 years from now means that they're both going to be 10 years older. So that means Amy's age would be X plus 10. And the fact that we're summing them means we're going to add them together. And Jennifer's age was originally X plus 7. If you like, you can put them in brackets. And she's now 10 years older as well. And when we add that up, we get 43, because it tells us in the question. Okay, let's tidy up the algebra on the left. Adding like terms gives us X and X is 2X. We've got 10 plus 10 plus 7. It's 27. And now my equation looks a little simpler. Here's where we need to get the numbers on the right hand side and get X by itself. So to do that, we're going to do the opposite of plus 27, and we're going to subtract 27. Remember, whatever I do to the left, I must do to the right to keep the balance of the equation. That gives me 2X on the left. 27 minus 27 is 0. And we got 43 minus 27 here. That gives us 16, doesn't it? And from here, you can probably guess. We're going to divide both sides by 2. And that gives us X as 8. Now let's go back to the question. Jennifer is 7 years older than Amy, and they're asking us how old are they now. So we now know that Amy is 8 and Jennifer is 7 years older than Amy. So we need to make some sort of a conclusion. I'm going to squeeze it in up the top. Amy is 8. Sorry about my pen. And Jennifer is 7 years older than that, so she is 15. Don't forget to put in years old. Okay, I hope you're getting the process. And basically, what we need to do is let our unknown be x. The second thing we need to do is transfer the words and write an equation. That's the tricky bit. And the third part is to collect like terms, solve the equation, and finally write a statement with our answer in it at the end. Okay, I'm going to leave some questions for you to do on Compass.